So now let's start with building the logo from scratch. So I'm going to go to Elements, and I already have a shape in mind. I know that I want to use something that represents a vegetable or a fresh produce. So that could be an orange for me. It could be a lemon, a beetroot. So I'm going to try to look for a similar shape. This is pretty good for me, this raindrop shape. And if I don't want a simple shape, I could always search, for example, beetroot. And filter it by clicking graphics. And I could use, for example, if I'm looking for a simple one, I could use this. And one great feature is the magic recommendation. So Canva will pick up what I'm looking for and they will offer me. So this orange is actually really nice. This lemon maybe. I'm just bringing the ones that I like over here. And I am just gonna delete the beetroot now because I like the orange and the lemon. This is always changing, this process of I like this better than this, or maybe I want to change this feature. This is always going to happen, and that actually guarantees that you are left with the best results. So don't worry too much about changing your mind because that's a natural process of design. Okay, so I have my shape here. Let's say that I also need a leaf. These are too complicated, too detailed. Looking for something simple, something like that almost. Perfect. And I'm just going to resize it, make it smaller. There we go. And I can see again the magic recommendations. This leaf looks nice. It might be a little too simple, but I'm just going to keep it just in case. Let's take a look at the magic. Oh, these flowers look great, but unfortunately they don't really go with my brand. So also comparing the lemon to the orange, I like the orange more. So I'm just going to delete that for now. And I'm going to change the color of this. So this is not my color palette yet. I just wanted to make it look like a lemon. There we go. I could brighten up the background. Alrighty, so, and again, I can drag these two, make sure they're both selected, click right, and then I could group them. And I could always ungroup them. So don't hesitate to do that. So if I want to move it around, I don't have to worry about moving both. I could just have them be grouped and make adjustments later. I'm also going to erase that. So now I got my elements. Well, now let's move on to fonts. So I'm going to duplicate the page, get rid of these guys, and go over to text. Again, these text combinations are a great place to find inspiration. But if you don't have one in mind and if you don't find one here, you can check out the styles. So previously we went through these and I really liked this one, the Ferdoka one. So I'm going to copy it and bring it. I'm going to duplicate this page again. Get rid of the elements. And paste it here. Turn it a darker color. There we go. And I'm going to change this to another font. So I'm just going to copy this. All right. and if there's any other font that I like. So always have shape theory and color theory in mind. So, what might be great for someone else's business, for example, this font right here, or the Serrano one, might not be the best option for you. Because as you guys can see, this is very tidy, very neat, clean, organized. But my brand needs to be a little more bold, a little more chunky, because it's more about fresh produce, agriculture, it's casual, it's raw. And I need to keep that in mind when choosing a logo. So far I think I have enough. And actually, I'm gonna make a copy of this. When I search Fredoka, which is the font I'm using right now, there might be similar ones to it. So I'm currently using this one just to show you guys the name. But I could always scroll down and try to look for things. So this is what we talked about. This is too neat, tailored. But maybe this sounds regular. No. Quicksand. Okay, this is not too bad. There's one called One Little Font. It's this one. I might like this too. So I'm just going to keep them here. And once you have the fonts that you're looking for, type in your brand's name. Okay, so immediately I don't really like this one anymore. It's too compact. And I'm just gonna delete that. So far I've settled on these two. Let's take another look. Let's see. And I just want to bring one up here for comparison. So maybe I can make it. So there we go. No, italic, bold maybe. And then usually add a dot. All right, I'm just going to erase that. Delete this page. We can now test it with my element. So I'm going to try and mix and match the element that best suits the body of text or the logo written out. So I'm just going to duplicate this page, keep the orange, and here remove the orange. Bring this here, bring this here. Okay. This one, let's see how it would look. Oops. Not really. All right, I'm just going to stick to these two then. I'm going to delete this. I want to see if I can morph my element into my text here. And I'm just going to do that by, first of all, making this a little smaller. Maybe this could replace one of the O's. So either here or here maybe. Let's see if that's possible. I'm just going to enlarge this a little. There we go. Get rid of that O. Okay, the leaf and the shape, they're both too big. I'm going to ungroup them. One thing that I can do is to line it up with this O, and I can bring it right around the edges. Okay, so is that a good shape? Make sure it's in line. All right, now the leaf. Rotate it just a bit. Definitely play around with. I'm going to bring this to the front so I can compare it so the height doesn't really match up. Okay, that's better. Again. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay, that's perfect. I'm just going to drag it. And there we go. I could try maybe pointing this the other direction and with the leaf, but I kind of like it that it closes in like that. So I'm going to keep it that way, but I could always rotate the elements as well. Okay, there we go. But right now, when you first look at it, you would read it as Comed, but I need to change that because this O needs to be taken as a letter. So first of all, I'm going to darken the yellow. There we go. And I'm also going to add the circle here to make it look like an O. So again, I'm going to go to Elements, Lines and Shapes, just a circle. Make it much smaller. So I think that's the right size. I'm going to bring this front. There we go. All right, that's about the same size. So and line it up the center. Okay, now I just have to turn this to my background color. There we go. Again, I'm going to make this one element, so I'm going to go to groups, group it together, and play around a little. Okay, and one great thing about the text here is that I could actually control the spacing and I can add some effects. So of course I can change the size, color. Some fonts you cannot make them bolder or italic, so keep that in mind. And I could see if it's all uppercase or I can remove that and I can have lower cases as well. But here at the effects, I can add a background, make it neon maybe, glitchy if I have like a, let's say, video game or entertainment company. And I can even choose the glitch, which is great. And give it a lift maybe, shadow, and also curve. So we're going to explore this in a bit, but I can also curve it. So as we saw, make sure that's 0 if you don't want it. The templates, a lot of them are round. For example, this one here, let me just open it. This template right here, the text is rounded, as you guys can see. And you could actually achieve that on your own by using the curve feature. Or a better example, let me search food. This one right here. You could achieve that very easily. Okay, but I'm gonna keep mine just straight. And also I can change the spacing, so the line spacing, if I have a body of text, or the letter spacing, which is great. Actually, so I can add more space, less space. But I think it's good for now. This is one option that I have, but as you guys saw, I saved one that looks completely different, and that's because I do need to experiment with different fonts and different styles, so I always have options to turn back to in case I change my mind. And I like the concept of having the element within the text, and I'm going to try to do that here as well. So I'm going to erase this O, and I'm going to duplicate this font, and I'm just going to have an O. So what I'm thinking is I'm not going to use this orange because it's too detailed for this, as you guys can see. Instead, I'm going to try to make an orange using the O. So let me erase this. Bring it here. I can rotate it. So maybe this one can be pointing outwards. And I'm going to change the color to an orange. Maybe I'll do it straight down. Okay, let me line it up with this O so it's a little too big. Okay, that's closer. And I want these to be a little more spaced. So line spacing, letter spacing. All right, move them both here and add the leaf. So there we go. So I have both options now. And they're completely different, but that's good. So I can try with different styles and see which one I like more.